Going live on Facebook.
Fitty fitty Facebook.
Facebook. And
Happy
we are going.
Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning and good day to you. How's your morning going?
Good day to you, Deeds. Happy Friday. Happy to anyone. If you're logging in right now, if you're hitting the hey, I'm here. Happy Friday.
Happy
Um,
Friday, everybody.
it is great, dude. It's really finally the end of my trip.
Uh-huh.
Um, I leave tomorrow morning, 5:35 a.m. Uh,
Facebook.
early as fuck.
Yes, it is very early.
Daddy's going home. But yeah, so this week has been just what I needed. A kind of like a wind down. I saw a bunch of
Hmm.
my other family here, as I mentioned to you before. My brother Jimmy lives here. My cousins Jake, Ryan, Nate, Zach, Matthew, Zach. Yes, there's two Zachs.
Zach and Zach.
Shannon, and I know I'm missing somebody else, but all my mom too, all my aunts and uncles. So, um, it's been a good time.
Awesome.
Um, but since the last time we chatted, I had dinner with Damien.
Awesome. Shout
That
out to
was
Damien.
shout out to Damien, dude. Love that guy. We had so much fun. Just chatting, visiting. Or maybe we did talk. Did we talk about that?
Hmm. I think you had dinner with him. You had also dinner with another celebrity guest.
Oh, but see, but did I talk to you about having dinner with Damien?
I don't think so. You just said it went well. You had a lot of fun. You had a
Okay.
low country boil, I think.
Yeah, we did
Yeah, you talked
crawfish
about it last
boil.
week. Yeah, crawfish, shrimp, crab legs,
Oh, good
shrimpies.
deal. I didn't remember if I talked to you about that. Cool. Yeah, we did
Yeah,
crawfish broil. It was great. And then yesterday or the day, I don't know, Thursday. What day is today? Friday.
today is
Must have been
Friday all
Wednesday.
day.
Okay, so yeah, Friday all day. Was actually Tuesday when I saw Steve-O and we went and had
Hmm.
some coffee. And to be honest, it was really cool to be able to pick his brain because
Hmm.
although we've hung out in social circles and at the different conventions, and I've interviewed him. One of the four question things when I was at the Huge before.
Yeah, with Ray
Uh,
Bans.
yeah, with the Ray Bans, and it was just he and I, not a bunch of people around, which was great because a lot of times when I was doing those interviews before, a bunch of people are around, and sometimes people would answer differently if it was just me, one on one.
Sure.
So getting to have an opportunity to actually talk to Steve-O this time was really great because normally
Awesome.
it's me, him, and like three or four or five other people.
Hmm.
Um, and to get to know him a little bit was cool.
Nice.
Gave me some insight on some of the other things he gets involved in. Um, one of the things that amazes me about what these guys at WCR actually do is how much they're on the phone, man. Like,
Hey, if you're not on the phone, you're not selling.
yeah, well, it's just crazy. The customer service that they have to deliver on a day to day basis, and then they've been doing for multiple years is pretty damn awesome. Um, I was like, Jersey was telling me like I forget it was 900 minutes or something. I don't remember if it was for a week or whatever, but it was. And then Steve-O was showing me like the amount of calls that they take and the amount of calls that they give out and the consulting and there's a
Hmm.
lot that goes into it.
Well, I mean,
So
they're pretty good about that. They get a text, hey, I need these rubbers or in my cart, charge it. So they're like, shit, quick. So
yeah,
they got to hook up the window cleaner because we bug them with our text, what we want, how we want it, and they're more than happy to help. And Jersey's speaking of reps, Jersey's the guy that sold me my water fed pole system.
me
I knew
too.
nothing about it except for it was super expensive, and he walked me through why the hell I needed it and made it easy peasy. So those reps,
That's
hats off to Steve-O, all those reps, all those guys do a great job.
buddy. That's the same thing that happened to me. So I was afraid to buy a system,
Mhm.
and that was one of the reasons why I went to the first huge. You and I have been talking off air or off camera a lot about the huge in 2 months, right?
Mhm.
And and I'm getting texts recently too. Thanks to all the people who followed the trip or whatever, and some people texting about hey, I really hope to go to the huge or one of these events soon. Um, yeah, like you meet different people and then you get to experience if you get to check out the other tools and things like that. But I think the people experience is where it's at.
Yeah.
Also, finding out how behind the scenes works a little bit. When you get there, you kind of hear stories and you see how people interact.
Hmm.
And then you really get to find the inner workings of some of the cool businesses that we follow.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I was talking about last week or earlier is, you're going to talk to a guy from Georgia or a guy from Alaska or from a different state that has the same issues you do. Like, I want to get customers, I want to raise my prices. What do I do? And then you find out this guy's charging like twice as much as you are for gutter cleaning, or this guy has a good idea to sell Christmas lights. And it's just stuff that pops in your head that you save for later, write down, jag it, and you get home and you implement it in your business, and you realize, wow, that works. Why didn't I think of that? That kind of stuff. So these conventions, these get-togethers, these networking, these groups, even talking to guys on here who send us messages and stuff. It's good to bounce ideas off back and forth, because and always be listening, because you might not know that you've got something really cool to give to somebody else that they didn't know that they needed or wanted to hear at that time. So get in touch with your bros.
you nailed it again on the head, buddy. And one of the things too is we should always be learning.
Mhm.
Um, learn how
Johnny
to
Five input. Yeah.
but not you can also learn like, hey, I want to be like that guy, or you can be like, hey, I don't want to be like that guy. You know what I mean? Like it's
Ninja.
I don't know, man.
It's a learning
Always
experience all around.
always
You get to
learning.
you get to fill your bucket, fill your cup with the love and support of other dudes and gals in the
Yep.
industry, and then at the same time you're also, you're there. It's an educational. That's why you go. You go there to learn, scale up your business, do better. That's why they have all these workshops
Breakout
and stuff like
sessions.
that. Yeah, breakout. So yeah, definitely get your ass to the huge this year, guys, if you haven't thought
Yeah.
about it, and get your tickets through Craig Hensel's link, which hopefully will be on there. We'll get it.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Speaking of Craig, I want to say there's a couple people I'd love to give a little love to this morning.
Go
Craig
for it.
messaged he and I were texting a little bit yesterday. Um and then he responded this morning, and he's just such a kind-hearted person. I appreciate you, Craig. Love you, brother. Thanks for the
Yes.
shout out to Deeds and I.
Thank you.
We appreciate you back. There's a cat, I think he's in Florida. His name's Christian Metzger too. He reached out.
Cool.
um just keep plugging, bro. I think you and your boy are gonna do some big shit. I don't
Cool.
think I know. Keep plugging, and I told you who I think you should reach out to. But I'll always be here to always bounce stuff off of. So we appreciate you guys giving us a link and a love and a plug, and we'll always here's the one thing that I will promise you too. If I can't help you with something, I will always point you in the direction with which I think you should get, because I don't always have the answer. Shit, I'm still seeking too. So that's what this whole uh idea and forum is about. Like I
Hmm.
I may not be the plug for you, but I'll be the plug to get you the plug. You know what I mean? And that's
Yes.
just the way that it should be.
Hmm.
We're here to help each other grow. So another person, real quick, that you and I are both buddies with, Squeegee Tom's been on lock this week, sending a
He's been
couple of the
working hard,
homies.
working his ass off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on lock. He's been sending some of the homies too, like shout outs to keep everybody motivated. I know he included me on one on Monday morning. And to be honest, I kind of needed it. And so
Hmm.
thanks for the plug. I needed that one, like a little jolt. Tom, you the best, bro. And I think it's something too that as pals we should be doing it for one another. Weekly, monthly, check on your homies, give them a shout, be like, yo, I see you. Nice work. Keep it up, or whatever. Or yo, you're a bitch. You should have done something a little better on that. But jokingly, you know what I mean.
Keep
Um,
accountability. That's it.
yeah, yeah,
But
man.
honest and fair,
Hell yeah, man.
thorough. Yeah.
That's
No,
what I'm
that's
talking
cool.
about.
Tom's killing it out there, New Hampshire. Beautiful, beautiful areas. You see, he had like a time lapse of a lake yesterday, just
Dude,
serene lake
he
up
gets
on a
some
hill
great
somewhere.
shots, man. I dig it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
dig it always. Anybody you want to give any love to? Little shout out to anybody.
All the guys. Craig's helpful. I had a question for him yesterday, and he answered it brilliantly this morning. So shout out to Craig. Shout out to everybody out there cleaning windows this week, cleaning windows this weekend. If you're a little slow, if you don't have any jobs, go back to your calendar from last year. If you're CRM, find out who paid the invoice last year in June. Reach back out to them because a lot of times you're in the front of their mind, you're just not on their mind. You're in the back of their mind. So send a text to your customers like, hey, I've got an opening Saturday. Are your windows dirty? Oh shit, yeah, we forgot all about you. Yeah, come on out. So don't be afraid to reach out and touch someone as far as your customer contact list. Try to get busy. Try to get those jobs scored. So, but yeah, shout out to all the WCR reps. You guys keeping it real. And Chris and Alex, again, thank you for supporting our channel. We're greatly indebted and love you guys.
Yeah, man.
You're WCR and Zero. You guys rock.
Another shout out. Alex, you mentioned. So David Revis, power washer, window washer, Rhino Blast, I think is name of his company out in Louisiana.
Mhm.
He's a buddy that I met at the first huge, and we were always outside. He was always outside smoking the heater, and I was outside smoking to something. And he introduced me to his wife, and we just kept bumping into each other. Like, you've watched how I get anxious and I walk outside every 30, 40 minutes,
Sure.
or hour to get a deep breath or whatever. So David's out there, and he's like, he's just instantly becomes a friend, like fucking that, right?
Yep.
So
Hmm.
we see each other the whole first huge, and he's the only person I know at the huge because I'm with my wife and I don't know anybody else yet. You know what I mean? I'm
Sure.
only fairly new to the rooms of pro window cleaning, maybe a year and a half at this point still.
Hmm.
So I don't have any friends at this point, and David is like one of my only friends there, and so he's always hitting me up like, "Give me a shirt, give me a shirt, yo, you're in the plug, give me a shirt." This is
Got it on
before.
shirts.
Yeah, he wanted a double X WCR shirt, right? And he's like, "You're gonna get yourself some." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not gonna get myself one and then get a double X for a homie, like, because I didn't want to be like I didn't want to be that guy who's like trying to go hoard like fucking 10 WCR shirts. You know what I mean? When I get to the convention, I don't
Yep.
want to be that guy." Or grabbing unnecessary shirts of wrong sizes, and then I walk away, and then have a guy like Jersey or Steve O be like, "This fucking guy, what's he doing?" You know what I mean? That's like in my head. That's
Nine
what I was.
shirts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that guy, so I was always too afraid to get something for David. And last year, then he says to me, "Bro, you're dialed in. You can go in there and you fucking, you're good. Get me one. Get me one." And I was like, I still don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? I don't. I pay for my shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I go to the convention, I'll get like one shirt, but I bought a bunch of my shit before. Like, I love the gear, so I always bought it. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yep.
I was blessed with the Zero hoodie, and you know, I, I don't know. I felt weird about it, but this time I was on live. Speaking of live, is anybody on? Do you know?
Uh, I don't think so at the moment. No.
Okay. So I was on live in the shop doing one of the
Hmm.
walkarounds, and David Rivas is on live, and he's like, "Now you can get me a shirt." So I'm like, "Son of a bitch, this fucking David." Pardon my language, but
Back on
I'm
the
like,
escalator again.
yeah. So I'm like, oh man. So and Tom was on that time too, and so when I was there, I was like, okay, I got to get these guys something. Um, but I was like packing up, and it was like the last Friday when I was actually getting ready to leave, I want to say. And we had and Sean
Hmm.
and I were getting ready to go do a job. So I couldn't run back to the warehouse and grab some stuff. And Alex was like, I got it, da 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 da. So Kaylee sent out a package to Tom and to David Rivas and to John Magdos and to Billy
Awesome.
Sloan. Yeah.
Nice. 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 That's
Made a
cool.
couple more people's day, I hope.
Great job, Kaylee. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so those guys are all squared away. Um, yeah, man, it's just been a stellar week.
Very cool.
Yeah, I was
Yeah. And then you're leaving tomorrow. You're going home, right?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Good times. Good
Take a
times.
deep
And back to
breath.
work. Back to reality. Yes. Yeah. You're gonna walk in the door. Your wife's gonna be like, "Tag, you're it." She's gonna go lay down or something and enjoy herself. And the
Dude,
family
they're
probably
putting a
misses you hugely.
backsplash. While I was gone, she added a whole new cabinet.
Neat.
Um, yeah, we got screwed over in some construction like 2 years ago, and
Okay.
it's just not getting taken care of, the last piece of it. Um, but she took care of that, and then also she's starting a backsplash today with her dad. Uh, Shout out to Elio.
Yeah. Have fun. That looks like fun. A lot of
Yeah.
a lot of applying the mortar and fun.
No, so that's gonna get started today. But guess what? I get to walk into tomorrow is them finishing it up.
You get to clean up afterwards. You get the mop and the broom and the all that stuff.
I mean, I am a glorified janitor, right? That's what
Pretty
people.
much
Yeah.
janitorial. That's what we do. Just I just don't. I used to. We don't friggin' paint. We don't do windows. So getting older, I paint now, and I guess I do windows. It happens.
So speaking of we do Windows, that was almost my company name.
No shit.
Yeah, I was like streak free, but we do it because everybody was like, we don't do Windows. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I was just gonna,
I can do that about them windows.
I was gonna say we do Windows.
That works. That works. Somebody should take that and run with it. Run
Yeah,
with it,
there you
guys.
go.
That's an
There's a
idea.
freebie. That one's on Goo.
Yeah. I've got an idea for a name for a gutter cleaning. Is Billy Goat Gutter Cleaning, and I bought the name and all that stuff, but I didn't run with it because I wrapped my damn truck, so I can't create that. But Billy Goat Gutter Cleaning has a good ring to it, and if you get like a weird goat, Billy Goat as your logo would look nice. So
That would be rad, bro.
it would, but I already got a wrap truck. I'm not buying another truck, buying more insurance, and then doing that. I got to stay in my lane, man. I got to stop my ideas. I got to stick to the
Yeah,
main three and
focus,
focus.
Daniel San, focus.
Boo. That's it. Yeah. But
Speaking of, how are we doing? How are we feeling mentally?
health
You
is fine.
good?
Everything's good. My doctor, he's like, yeah, you're doing good. I let him know of my progress health wise. The only reason I went to see him is because last year I was like dying. I was like, do I have cancer? Am I dying? I'm pretty angry about it, or getting health issues. So everything's good there. He's happy. I'm happy, and everything's going good. I'm waking up. I'm not having the gut inflammation, urge to use the bathroom, nausea, none of that shit. It's all gone. So staying on the up and up, drinking plenty of water, eating like a pregnant chick now. So I'm trying to gain some of the weight back. Doing my morning walks. I'm doing, the pull-up bar, the back pull-up bar, and some barbell action. Just trying to stay fit. I'm getting older. I'm turning, what, 29 this year, 30, and so yeah, it's a big milestone. So I got to try and stay limber, try to stay in shape and not
What
round.
year are you? What year are you born, Deeds?
Oh, I can't give that out because someone's going to steal my social security number. But I'd say in the mid to late 80s.
Okay,
I'm just kidding. But yeah, 1985. So like Bowling for Soup. So
nice. You
good
like that
stuff.
band?
So not really. No, maybe that
No.
one song. But I was not a big fan of the whole 2000s, Bowling for Soup, My Chemical Romance, 30 Seconds to Mars. It's kind of just out of my comfort zone. I mean, I like their hits, but I'm not going to sit and buy the album and listen to it. I'm more like a No Doubt, Goo Goo Dolls, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam. Yeah, I'm the grunge guy. More towards
Mm,
that era, a little further back, a little Metallica, but not so far back as like the first album of what is it? Pantera. Did you ever see like their first album cover, like the wild,
no.
crazy white snake hair and shit? It's like whoa, and then they found their niche though. They found it,
When you said bowling for soup, I heard
and
Let's
that's all I
Go
got.
Bowling. Do you know that band? Let's Go Bowling.
Oh, let's go bowling.
I
I've
think
never
Let's
heard of
Go.
them.
I think they're ska. When you said bowling for, I didn't even know Bowling for Soup was a band. What do they sing?
1985. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Is that them? It's
I don't know.
19 Madonna, way before Nirvana. There was Bluetooth, Blondie,
Oh,
music still on MTV. My something in high school, 1985. That song.
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, not six. Sorry, 1985. But
What do you
yeah, good
What do
time.
you got going on today?
I'm sitting in the chair from 8 to 3, and then after work, I'm going to do a small window cleaning to a lady here in the patio homes in my neighborhood. So it makes it super easy for me because it's a very short drive, and then windows and screens, and a happy little old lady. So that's cool. Keeping it close. Fridays, I like to stay closer to home because
Yeah.
everybody and their mother gets out of work early on Fridays in Houston. So everybody and their mother is in their car fighting traffic. Last week, I think it was Friday, I ended up doing a job that was really close, like 15 minutes away, but I tacked on another job that was 15 minutes from where I live, but I turned out to be like an hour-long drive sitting in my car or truck with a trailer, just getting all pissed off because everybody and their mother drives Fridays early. So Houston, you can't get around the traffic. It's just a pain. So that's why like my service area is like 10 to 15 minutes. So if they're like other side of Houston or too far out, I just tell them I can't help you. You know, I've got a here's a window cleaning company out of Katy that can help you. So I send my referrals to another company that's a lot bigger than mine. They have like 3 or 4 employees and they enjoy the work sometimes. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
Yep. But other than that, it's kind of slow. I've only got one other job this weekend, and I'm like, uh-oh, what do I do? So I've got to take my own advice and reach out to people that got done last year in June, July, August. There was one customer I did last year. It's like a $700 house wash. The guy's rich. He was like bragging about he's got Wi-Fi cameras that can like study your heat signature and like follow your footprints. That's like weird. He has a really nice technical job, what have you, but he was flexing. He's like, I can zoom in on your tires and read the serial number off your tires. And I'm like, well, you zooming in on my lunch breaks, like what,
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. I think he was kind of warning me and flexing, like, don't break into my house or something. It's like, dude, I don't got time for that. But people are strange. People have really nice security cameras. So that being said, sometimes, like he said, if the security camera can't see you, like I said, it'll follow your heat signature or your sound, and like it'll. I don't even understand it. It's like
I
year
don't. I
2000
think he
shit.
just wants you to not take a leak on the side of his house.
Pretty much it, yeah. And I definitely held that in the entire time. You don't pee in a guy's house with security cameras. And I almost made that mistake once. You look back, you look forth, there's no camera. You're getting ready, but then you notice he's got like that owl camera attached to his wood fence, like not up on the house like you would think, but it's on the wood fence. Oh shit, that was close. The guy could have laughed at me big time. But yeah, there was somebody in Houston last year who was being dragged on the boards. It was a pool company, and some homeowner had the security camera of the pool tech going between the air conditioners, squatting down and dropping the deuce,
Oh,
and they dragged that mother through the dirt on the ask
oh!
pages and stuff because he couldn't deny it because he supplied it. He didn't even wipe; he just pulled up and walked. So I don't know if that company shut down or turned off the Google reviews for a while, but it was interesting reading and also a good reminder: don't ever use number two uh, on the customer side of their house. And there was a guy last week in the group or this week who was sharing his shit story. Did you hear about that one? One of his employees used a number two in the guest bathroom at a customer's house. Toilet got clogged. The guy's like, "Well, it's going to cause thousands in damage. I need your insurance." And the guy's like, "Whoa, let me come send a plumber out to clean it." Long story short, is the guy ended up having it clean itself by itself. Like he didn't have to have a plumber come out and snake or auger it or anything. But it was a good learning experience for the guys in the group because A, now you know never to take a shit in the customer's house, and B, how to handle it when you have complaints and how to look out for problem customers.
I don't know, man. I don't do it too at a client's house because I'm terrified of stank or whatever.
Oh
But
yeah,
I have a very good friend who I get a phone call from about once a month, and you wouldn't believe the bathroom I'm in right now. Like it's the most hilarious.
sure.
You know this person too, and
Oh, I don't doubt it.
he's a
Oh,
serial pooper, and I
oh, I have
love
a.
this man. I love this man.
Oh,
He brightens my day. He's a serial pooper. I'm not going to name any names, but hopefully he's watching. And yeah, man,
hey, when you
you're
gotta go,
not.
you gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of using the customer's bathroom once,
Oh,
and
I use a
apparently
pisser all the time because I have a tiny tank. But yeah, I'm just terrified that I'm gonna. I don't know
I
what I'm
didn't. I had to
terrified
do
of.
number two, and it turns out I used the guest bathroom, and I got a wasp flying around. I'll leave him alone. Anyway, I was using number two. One, she had no toilet paper. B, she had a trickle for the sink that was only cold water, not hot water. So you do the math of how awkward that fucking was, because she was kind of waiting, like, is everything okay? I'll be fine. Give me a couple minutes here. I gotta, yeah. So never use the customer's bathroom for two. Don't even do it, because I can't give all the details, but it was one of those horror stories. But she was cool with it, and she's a repeat customer. I just know to never ever ask to use the bathroom again. Sometimes it gets on the fritz when you're taking your splits. So just be careful.
Yeah.
We got a shout out. Good morning, Craig. Good morning, Damien. Today, Craig is going to listen to some snot. Back in the day, we used to
Anyone
be
want to
able to.
take a
Oh, wait.
guess of which one of our friends is the serial pooper?
Mike Nichols, because I mean, yeah,
I just want to
that's
see what
probably
everybody else has to say. Like
that's
I
my
want
guess. I mean, you got your custom poop knife tucked into your silencer. Yeah, take that out to chop it up.
to.
When I was in
I do love me some Mike Nichols. I
yes,
adore that guy.
well, he's dropping
Um,
catfish loads. That's a different kind of protein. You know, the protein of a different color. The cool pasty clay color versus the red, the hard browns. But
there are so many people in our industry that I wish I could spend more time with that live in different parts of the country, man. I'm really glad that August is just around the corner.
yeah,
Um,
get your tickets,
yeah,
guys. Get to the huge. Get there. Be there or be square.
yeah,
You know,
man.
don't
We
miss
got a
out on
couple
that.
months. We got a couple months to plan. What's today's the 20th? It's exactly 60 days away, right? Or something like that.
Pretty near, yeah. Unless there's one extra day, and no, June's pretty. Yeah, July 31st. So yeah, you got about 60, 61 days. You got to get it done.
And guess what? August 20th is my birthday. So we're going to party like it's 1978.
Or like it's 1985. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Bowling for soup. I think it's them. But
Okay. Well,
yeah, happy birthday.
I learned. Well, you can tell me when you see me, buddy. We'll give a good clap and then a big hug, a big bro hug. Say, fuck yeah,
Big bro
let's
hug.
roll.
Fuck yeah, happy birthday. I'll buy you a sundae with some. You can tell the people at the restaurant it's your birthday. Happy birthday, it's your birthday today. They do all that shit.
Please no sing, but lots of
Yeah,
ice cream. I am a huge fan of ice cream.
ice cream is good for you. I used to work at a Mexican restaurant. I was the only white guy there, and so
Yeah.
they would give like their daily speeches in Spanish, and I just like, why am I fucking here? I don't know what they're yelling at. So not you. You do a good job. It's like okay, fine. But they wanted me to work on the 4th of July, and I was like, I'm the only one here who really doesn't want to work on the 4th of July, so I quit. So I quit that job because I wasn't going to work on the 4th of July. Hell no. But yeah. So anybody else work on the 4th of July? It's coming up. It's next week.
Oh,
Shit,
what?
almost.
No, 2 weeks.
No, 2 weeks. Two
Is
weeks.
it in the
Yeah.
middle of the week or is it on a weekend?
I think it's on a Wednesday or Thursday. I think a
Oh,
Thursday. I think. I'm going to New York for the 4th, so I'm going to be in the Buffalo area that Monday through Friday or so, and then I'm going to go to
yeah.
Darien Lake Performing Arts Center and get on the water slides, do the Superman, do all sorts of crazy roller coaster shit with my kids and family. It'll be a lot of fun. So anybody in Western New York want to meet up, I'll let you guys know when I'll be at Darien. Bring your family, bring your squeegees. We'll do
That
some
would be
slip and
dope.
slide.
So you know because you and I talked about my trip for a long time. You were one of the
Hmm.
people that I bounced stuff off of that I wanted to share this with for a long time. Um, and I originally wanted to go to New York for at the 4th, and you remember that because I was
Hmm.
like, "Fuck my!" If I figured if I could get my wife out there for the 4th, I knew that that would be a big deal for her. So maybe next year New York and the 4th will be something that I can shoot for to get her out there. That'd be kind of a really cool, I think, a great thing.
Yeah, it's
Um,
nice. They
yeah,
they do a big fireworks celebration at most of the little towns. They spend thousands of dollars to do a firework display. So my mom's little town hall thing is like 2 minute drive from her house, 5 minutes from our Airbnb more or less. So we go there. The kids get the giant fireworks display. They got the local band that's playing all their brass and Sousa music from the you know from the back in the day. It's really nice. So good patriotic, good to love America the week of the 4th and celebrate our birthday.
yeah. That's another thing I'm really grateful on this trip is getting to see how awesome our country is from
Hmm.
city to city,
Yep.
and realize that people do care still.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I saw a lot of flags on the road.
Maryland
Um,
is the land of flags. Like they have the most flags. Obviously, a lot of government employees live in that area, but on my whole walk, like I was really impressed with Maryland because like every other house had a damn flag in their yard, which is awesome. You don't see that
that's cool.
everywhere in America. People
Yeah,
love flags, people love it, but Maryland sticks out in my head as the most patriotic state. But I haven't been to every state, so what the fuck do I know?
yeah.
But yeah, America loves
You know,
America.
one of the things that I feel like I kind of missed the boat on was because I was kind of on a time crunch. I didn't really
Hmm.
pull off too much off the highway, or
Sure.
like I didn't see Maryland. I drove through it. I drove through Virginia.
Hmm.
I pulled
Well, it's all
over to
country,
get,
you
yeah.
know.
But I didn't really see much of that stuff. Like I saw some of Carolina, I saw
Hmm.
some Salem, just a tiny bit. I saw some like a little bit of Charlotte. But by the time I got to wherever my destination was, I was always so tired from having done whatever it is I was doing that day. I really didn't go out that much. So that was
Sure.
one of the downsides of it. But this
Hmm.
wasn't a vacation. This was, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There
it
was,
was a working trip. It was fun meeting
yeah,
guys, and your dance ticket was punched. It was pretty full. You know, you had a whole bunch of cleanings with dudes. You met up, had lunch with some. I'm sure you had a great
yeah.
time, and you'll never forget. You know.
No way, dude. And like I said too, like so I have been trying to get a hold of Stevo for I think 2.5, 3 years.
Hmm.
And yeah, he's in Colorado, but not by Denver. So it's
Okay.
not convenient, you know what I mean? And I'm always and every time I'd be like, yo, 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 I'm coming. And again, I'm just some residential window cleaner from Phoenix with who the fuck am I trying to get, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and to be able to finally get that on lock, that was cool. Um,
Nice.
it's funny because most of the questions I had for him weren't really window cleaning related. Um, you know what I mean? Like,
First tattoo.
no, but we did do some tattoo talk because I
Cool.
had so that day I went back to my tattoo parlor, and he touched up some stuff on the backside of my arm over here,
Uh
and
huh.
then we added a little diamond up here. You'll see it in a
Nice.
month or whatever, but
Diamond in
um,
the rough.
yeah, and so Steve noticed, and he was showing me some stuff, and I guess he had a Sacred Heart on his arm, and then it got put into some biomechanical like
Neat.
piece, and so we talked a little tattoo. Then we talked about you know what I mean, like origin story. I learned a little background.
Hmm.
I'm always trying to learn what makes people tick, I guess, and how they think, and
Sure.
what they do with the information that's given to them, I guess, in
Hmm.
certain aspect. And so just that great conversation, you know what I mean? It was a nice dialogue,
Hmm.
good context. Like it was fun. And he
Awesome.
wasn't rushed, and that made me feel so like that felt good. Like it wasn't like, all right, good to see you. Now I gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's good to
Um,
have those relaxed interviews. Like when we met at the Huge, you had your glasses. Like, hey, can I ask you four questions? Like, fuck, it's early.
yeah,
Damn,
yeah,
on the spot, quick. But those are also good because then you can have spontaneous answers off the cuff. But being relaxed and in a good setting, having dinner with your buddy, that's awesome. We also have Grace just popped in. Hey, everybody, if you haven't got your ticket to the Huge, click the link below for tickets. So anybody watching, if you don't have your Huge tickets, follow Grace's advice. Get with her and Craig. Smash that link button. Buy your ticket to the Huge because all you're helping them out with their window cleaner museum, and they need help because they're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts because they care about the industry. They want to share the information, and they're gonna have some sick ass shit at that booth. Stuff that you've never even thought of from window cleaning from 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and today.
yeah.
So
Just like
check it out.
mix 96 point
Yeah.
nine.
Yeah, the classic rock, 70s, 80s, and today. Now it's 90s classic rock. Isn't that fucking nuts? It's been 50 years since the 1970s rock music. 50 years of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin. Most of those guys are still around. You know, Rolling Stones, Keith Richards is never going to die. He's going to outlive all of us. Crazy. You know, Rolling
Oh,
Stone
that's
all the time.
hilarious.
But
Um,
yeah, so make it a great day. Reach out to your customers. Go ahead.
uh, any plans for the weekend? What are we doing on time? How are we?
We've got 2 minutes or so ish.
Okay.
But
Any
yeah, this
any big
weekend I've
plans
got
for
the
the
job
weekend?
today. No big plans. What am I doing? Doing a job today, a job Saturday. Sunday's wide open. I'm probably going to do a kids to the pool day. We got that neighborhood pool, and that's jamming as long as the weather's good. But because I'm leaving, I think in like 8 days or in a week, I even scheduled a job for next Friday. I'm supposed to leave Friday night after work at like 3 to drive to New York. And some lady called, goes, "Hey, you cleaned our windows and did our gutters last year. Can you come?" It's like, "Yeah, what day is good for you?" Well, the tree trimmers are coming on the 27th, and any day after that is perfect. So I'm like, shit, I'm leaving on the 27th. So anyway,
Oh,
I sold the job, and I'm going to clean it after I get out of work. I'll probably leave early, 12 or 11, and I'll go clean the lady's windows and gutters. Should take about an hour or two. She's on a duplex, so it's really the back side of her house, one side, and then the front. I mean, it's super easy. But I'm going to knock that out, come home, and then jet off to New York. So I'm going to try and fill my dance card this week. So I'm going to be reaching out to other customers and say, hey, I've got availability Wednesday. Hey, I've got availability Thursday, and try to fill it because it's very helpful for the wallet if you can fill your schedule before you leave instead of going on vacation and worrying and scheduling for everyone when you get back. So that's fun. But looking forward to that. I'm
yeah.
doing a road trip up to New York next Friday or Saturday morning. So it's 23 and a half hours of
Oh
playtime
shit.
driving up to New York. So it's like 12 hours and 12 hours. But we like to leave a day early so we can get like 4 or 5 hours. We stop in like Texarkana, like in Texas. And then the
Yeah.
next morning we drive to Nashville and beyond to like Missouri, or even Ohio. My wife loves driving. So I'm more like the co-pilot. I'm just like throwing the kids fruit snacks and whatever. And my kid, he passes a rest stop. Oh, I want to go pee. You don't need to pee. You just want to see the rest stop. I got to go pee. No, you don't. You just want to see the rest stop. So we stop. Oh, I don't gotta pee. You wanted to see the rest stop. Damn it. It's like we got to get. It's a long drive, dude. It's long. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be bringing my computer and some books. I'm gonna do some writing. I've been getting back to that old Great American Novel again. I started from scratch this week because you can't catch up with where you were, the train of thought. And so I've come up with different ideas and what have you. So I'm rewriting. I've got 3 chapters in the bag. That's just pure drivel that I need to edit and really conform my thoughts and stuff. But I'm excited. 6,000 words on paper. My goal is maybe 300,000, and then edit it and combine it and condense it from that. But I'm excited because I'm going to bounce a lot of ideas off you. I want to thank Craig. I asked Craig a question yesterday regarding window cleaning because my main character is going to be walking across the country. He's going to be leaving from New York, and he's going to be a window cleaner. So he's going to be walking and having some shenanigans. I'm going to share my story. It's going to be a novel based on a true story. So all the stories in it are true, but it's going to be fiction, so I don't get in trouble or piss people off. You know what I mean? So like that never happened. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited because I've kind of bottled it up for years, and I'll only tell people, I'll be at a bar like, hey, what brings you to Texas? Do you have 45 minutes? Like, no.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've got a lot of cool shit, and looking back on my story, even before I did the walk, I have an origin story of like who I was as a young man in my 20s, and the things that I'm remembering that I did and had happened to me is like, holy shit, that would make a great book. That'd make a great story. And so I'm finally getting the confidence to do it, and even my wife is like supportive and stuff. Because in the past she was annoyed, why are you writing your book? No one wants to hear, like it's not about you. It's pretty interesting. So I'm excited that I'll be able to get that off my chest and get it out there. Hopefully, my goal is to have it done by November. So I got
Right.
a lot of writing to do, and with an Apple computer, I'm able to slap the microphone button and just talk. So it does speech to text. So as you know, I'm a very fast, very whatever guy. So I can type really fast, but I can't type as fast as I think. So I'm eternally grateful for having the a voice speech software to be able to blurt it out. And then I just got to go correct, grammatical errors like, you know, million, billion, there, all that fun stuff. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to get that out there and see where that goes.
I can't wait to read.
Thanks.
Can't
And yeah,
wait
I'm going
to
to be
read.
sending you chapters. I'm going to send you stuff as drafts just to show you to kind of keep me motivated because
Accountability
I'll write a
dog, and I'm
chapter.
gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I'll write a chapter. There's nothing more boring than sitting in front of a computer and talking to it or writing a book when you'd rather be watching, the Pacers lose to the Oklahoma Thunder or whatever. It's good. So I'm staying focused. I've got a mission. There's only like 3 things I want to work on in my life right now. One is deeds, 2 is getting healthy, and 3 is writing that book. So
Get it.
I've got to get that down. Got to stay on top of it.
Get it locked in, deeds.
Yep. So thank you for your support and keeping me
Fuck
keep me
yeah.
going. Thanks, Craig, for some. He's going to help me out with some window cleaning questions that I have from the year 2010. I don't. I got a lot of research and stuff to do along with it, but it's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. And I had a crazy dream last night of a buddy of mine from back in town, and just a backstory on this guy. There was a murder in town. A guy was hung upside down and beaten by the cartels, and he was a best friend of my buddy. And so, long story short, is looking back on the situations, I wonder if my buddy had anything to do with the guy's murder, or if he was, a lot of weird questions arise after 15 years of thinking about things. So
Yeah.
that being said, it'll be a really cool book because it's gonna touch on all things. It would be love, adventure, mystery, intrigue, uh, failure, loss, all that crap, all rolled into one gigantic book. So I look forward to getting that out, and I want window cleaners to read it, and we'll see how that goes. So fingers crossed, I can stay motivated and get it done because I've always, wrote a couple of chapters and then life happens, I'll get sick or, I'll put the computer away and then forgot I was writing or it gets boring. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
stay motivated, stay on top of it because as long as I'm getting a good outline, a good chapter synopsis, I mean, I'm doing all the things right now. So I'm actually researching, spending more time and sticking to it, what have you. Because, there's a lot of YouTube video workshops like, hey, how to write the next novel. What you need to do is get all that crap. So spending a lot more time doing that and focusing. So thanks for your help.
Word, word,
Word, word,
word to
lots of
your
words. Microsoft Word.
mother.
Yes, all my mothers. But anyway, yeah, I'll shout out to everybody. Make sure to change your rubbers today. Reach out to past customers and clients. Even call them. If you're Joe Hardy, he had a Rolodex and he would call up customers, which is probably a lot better than texting your customer. But if you don't text your customer, if you don't email them, if you don't get in their face, they're never going to call you. So you either wait for the phone to ring or you take a proactive approach. I was never a door knocker. I would never knock on somebody's door, even if they had algae placed all over the windows in the front of their house and it was dirty as shit. I still wouldn't be able to bring myself to knock and ask if I could clean them, but I would leave a door hanger. So I've got door hangers in the truck, and I always, after a job, I'll do a 5 around if I'm not exhausted. But get some door hangers at the very least. Get them from the WSR print shop, and write down your service, write your price, leave it on the door. So the worst that they can do is just chuck it in the garbage, or they'll chuck it in a drawer and call you in a couple of weeks. At the latest. So I still get calls from people last year who are like, "Is this $20 off service coupon still valid?" Hell yeah. What do you need? How much did I quote you again? I think it was 179. It's like, well, I'm going to need to. Let me make sure that price is right. Give me
Yeah.
that door hanger back, and I'll honor that price. I promise. So that kind of stuff. But if you're a little slow because it's June, July, reach back out to your customers. Open up that CRM, get their text, give them a call, give them an email. Even just randomly send them an estimate. Create that estimate from last year, clone that one, and send it out. They'll open it up and they'll either forget about it or they'll approve it. And I've had that happen a couple times. So get out there, guys. Get busy.
Word.
Word.
Fucking, you're
So,
hyped today, dog. I love
dude,
it.
I'm up. I've been up. This is my second cup of coffee. I'm like JoJo, Little Indian Circus Boy, the pretty new pet, and I love it, and I drink it, and it's so good. Mm.
Well, like Deed said, make sure y'all change your rubbers. Have a great day. I hope your passion bucket's full. Let's keep it up, stay gold, guys.
Stay up, stay gold, and smash that button for the huge convention with Grace and Craig. Get that done, guys. Talk to you
Thanks,
later.
everybody.
Bye byes. Do 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 do. Hold on.